What's good, everybody? This is Ryan McKee, and this is The New Perspective. This channel intention is to bring awareness and enlightenment to the unseen, tackling the real issues, breaking through mental barriers to discover, unlock, and understand your true propensity, to create passion that will spark desire to build from the inside out. Now, as you know, mental health is on the rise, whether it's through childhood trauma, toxic ways. I know when I was going through my series of depression, I didn't have anyone to support or understand or even educate me on the right way of dealing with it. And I think we as a community, we can help each other heal. And I think healing is needed in our community. And it's up to us to make a difference. So, with that being said, I hope that this channel can alleviate some of that pain. I hope that I can touch and change lives through this channel. Because at the end of the day, it should all be nothing but peace and love. So let the healing start today. Hey everybody, this is Ryan McKee. Welcome to A New Perspective. Last week we talked about energy and motion, which we know to be as emotion. Now, in part one, we talked about building emotional intelligence and finding emotional balance. So this week, we're going to have part two of that. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is creating emotional stability. Now, there's different ways you could create emotional stability. Let's talk about what's emotional stability. That's when you are secure in your emotions. You know, just having that emotional intelligence, having that emotional balance. So now you're doing things to maintain that, so that you could do little things, little practices, so that these principles that you have, or these characteristics, they stay in place. So that's what emotional stability is. Now, several ways we can do emotional stability, well, we could create emotional stability. One would be self-care. You know, self-care is caring about yourself. Like I said, I did an episode where I explained constructive and destructive self-care. You know, constructive would be something like working out, diet, you know, stuff like that. And destructive would be like drinking and smoking. And we might think it's self-care, but, you know, sometimes it could be excessive. Now, you know, there could be moderation, you know, that don't hurt. It could be moderation if that's what you choose to do. But anything excessive or too much of anything is you know, you want to have a balance. So when it comes to self-care, you want to be more on the constructive side, because that way you can grow, and that will add to your emotional stability. And next would be creating structure. When you don't have structure or discipline in your life, you could go anywhere. You, like I said, you could just be a dot on a scatter plot. You could just, your mind can be so everywhere, and you won't have a destination or a point where as though you're trying to reach. You'll be scattered. And so when you create structure and discipline, that leads you and that aligns you to not only your true purpose, but it brings you more happiness and stability within your life. Grounding yourself. Grounding yourself is key, because you want to feel the emotions, but you want to make logical decisions. So grounding yourself allows you to feel those emotions, but go through it in a logical way, rather than an emotional way. Because if you're led by emotion, then 9 times out of 10, either it won't get done, it could cause procrastination, etc., etc. But when you go through things in a logical way, well, when you make logical decisions, then it benefits not only you, but people around you as well. And it's great for your well-being. So grounding yourself. Another one, focus on the moment. A lot of us try to think ahead and create scenarios in our head, creates anxiety. A lot of us are probably resentful, or probably have some baggage or some old thinking pattern in the back of our head, so then it most likely lead to a depression, rather than focusing on the situation at hand and being optimistic to create a future. So you want to be present in everything you do. You don't want to, give this 10% and then give 100% to something else when they deserve equally the same amount, the same 100%. Challenge yourself. When you have a goal and you have goals, it allows you to focus on that, and that becomes more so your main thing. When you wake up, you think about it, you dream about it, you everything about you says, okay, I want to go towards this, I want to go towards this. The more and more you get to the practice and the habit of creating that passion, that desire for a certain thing that you want, or sometimes in certain situations a certain outcome, or whatever the case may be, you want to challenge yourself, and that keeps you focused, that keeps you aligned to what you actually need to do. Let's see. Change how you see fear. I had to go through this transformation several times. A lot of this stuff I have repeated a lot of times. Yes, I have. So change how you see fear. Fear and failure. I'm gonna put both of them together because sometimes that could change our perspective on life or our goals. An obstacle getting in the way, it just be like, oh man, like I didn't, I didn't tackle that, or I didn't do it how I wanted to do it, when really it was just one of the stepping stones. Because if you learn, then it's a win. No matter, any progress is a win, but you have to see it as that way, because you're not going to get it on the first couple of tries, and you have to keep going. That comes with with challenging yourself as well. And as far as fear, changing how you see fear, you want to see things in an optimistic way. You don't want to approach it with any fear of scarcity, because that kills whatever you're trying to accomplish. Lean into discomfort. Talked about this before too. Leaning into your discomfort allows you to get out of that comfort zone, and you kind of don't have that anxiety going towards anything. You kind of like the uncomfortability should excite you, because like I said before, on the opposite side of fear is success. So you want that fear to sit in, so you could challenge yourself to push through it. It will yield great results. So mentally, ways that you could create emotional stability will be breaking mental patterns. That's what I was saying with having an older mindset, an outdated mindset, and then bringing it into the new. You want to break certain things or certain distractions, certain ways about going about doing things, and then so you have a healthier balance when it comes to making more logical, rather emotional decision, or rational, better yet. Believe in everything that pops in your brain. We can have a million thoughts a day. Some of them are bad thoughts, some of them are good thoughts. The thing is, in your subconscious, the brain doesn't know whether it's a good or bad thought, right? So you cannot believe every little thing, but you can also, yourself. So you use discernment in what thoughts that you need to pay attention to, and what thoughts you need to figure out a way to cancel out in your head. Even if it's positive affirmation, even if it's just, just rejecting the thought altogether. It's certain things you could do to cancel it out, or you become more deep into your passion, then that takes over and that cancels out more of those type thoughts. Judging yourself for how you feel. Sometimes we could be our worst critic. When we go through a bad time or a dark situation, we can harshly judge ourselves. We can say, man, I'm stupid, why I do that, or it's crazy, or like, why would I, and we'll beat ourselves up about it, and that creates, even more of a prison for ourselves, because we're human. We make mistakes. Stuff gonna happen. Sometimes it's not gonna always be 100% that we do something in a certain way that we do things, and we might have an irrational thought or action towards something or anything like that. But hey, it's not the end of the world. We can't beat ourselves up about every little thing that we do, especially if it doesn't reach a desired outcome. Lose fear of uncertainty. A lot of us, because we don't know, it scares us, and we rather go for what's comfortable or what is known. Like when we know the tangibles, because if we're so unsure about something, we're not getting in that water. But you had to lose that, because it's like when it comes to that, you never know what's going on. Like, you don't know what the path might lead you to. Just follow your gut, follow your intuition on certain things like this. Pray about it, meditate. Find a way to get clarity within yourself before making a decision, but lose the fear of uncertainty, just the unknown, because a lot of things we're not going to have the answers to. That's just what it is. Another thing is trying to control everything. People with control issues, we try to control the outcome of certain things. For the most part, we try to find answers to everything. We're very, very sometimes analytical. Oh, why this? Why that? Or try to make it move at our speed, whereas we could comprehend it in a way where we could control it. Whereas we had power over the situation, and most of the time, sometimes we don't have power over something we can't control. So, so when it comes to emotions and stuff, dealing with emotions and energy and stuff, you want to really find what makes you happy. Whether it's dancing, or singing, drawing, writing, you gotta find what makes you happy to create that emotional stability. Because when you don't, it's like anything can have a dopamine release, and it can be destructive rather than constructive. So you gotta find what makes you happy. I'm gonna bring this up probably a lot more time, but I keep talking about it. Journaling and self-reflecting. We don't really need to go over this when it comes to that. Kind of explain that a couple times, but definitely key. Staying away from toxic habits, behaviors, and people. Now, this is just so you don't relapse into what you're used to. We could fall. We could just sometimes be on autopilot. Like, once we get out of it, and then like we trying to create new habits and stuff like that, sometimes it could just be like, like a little. It might be a little whatever desire to go back, or it might just be a little spark to go back. Just curiosity. It might be curiosity. It might not be a full blown desire or passion, whatever. Especially if it's destructive, but it might be that spark where it's like, should I go back, or let me try it one more again. And that could get you in a trap, and also a bigger mental prison as well. Now, there's a term that I actually I didn't say I didn't. I just found out about it, but it kind of been reintroduced to me because I heard it before and I never knew quite what it was. And it's called neuroticism. That's a long-term tendency to be in a negative or anxious emotional state. People with neuroticism tend to have more depressed mood, suffer from feelings of guilt, envy, anxiety, and etc. Now, neuroticism, I think when it comes to that, it's especially like for anyone who has it or had it. You know, trying to figure out actually how to say this with neuroticism. Now I would say with the healthy practices that I explained, but I think more so try to find things that boost your mood and try to find ways to better yourself. Therapy. I think therapy will help, and just a professional. I mean, for me, I could tell you just the stuff that I've explained, but I think it would be cool to be dealing with a professional, figure out what's really wrong, and so you can not have feelings of guilt, envy, and anxiety, because there is a lot of mental health things going on. Also with there's another one that people confuse it with. It's called neurosis, which is the disorder, and neuroticism is the personality trait. So either one is still with mental health. We have to be aware of just people just with mental health. Sometimes we can't take everything personally, and we have to, like I said, the empathy and figure out what's going on before because somebody could be having a bad day and you might just think they having a bad day, and it might not be that. It might be something very deep and internal that they're going through. So that's why as far as mental health, I try to lead the professional stuff to the professional people, but it's still a way of whereas I try to talk to not to just give comfort, but to give understanding to certain things and create awareness. I just feel that I could do that as a person. I can't perform miracles or anything like that, but I can do that as a person. I can offer that. It's other mental disorders: schizophrenia, bipolar, got manic depression, PTSD. You have highly sensitive people. You got empaths. You got all types of personality disorders. So, like I said, you want to talk to a professional when it comes to certain things like that. But I wanted to just touch on it because I like I said, I wanted to create the awareness, because sometimes you just don't know who's going through what, and you can't just be so quick to judge. I think nowadays we are quick to judge, including myself, and that's sometimes we can't help each other because we've seen things from two different perspectives. But when we open our mind, we start to see things from different and various viewpoints. We can understand each other a little better and help each other, ascend. So this does it for part 2 of Energy and Motion, which is emotions. So this is also the season finale. Stay tuned. I'll be dropping, same time every Monday between 6 and 7. Follow me on Facebook. You can add me on Facebook at Ryan Accomplished McKee, and on Instagram at Ace_McKee. So this does it for the season finale. I look forward to season 3, and I enjoy talking to you guys. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and share. So, love, peace, and harmony.